you're going to have to trade to acquire anything. So what does that mean? Are we trading arms? Are we trading ready for the big league now arms? Or are we going to trade prospects? Harry Fords, Class A's, those types of dudes. What do you see happening as far as the Mariners making a trade? What are they going to what are we going to probably subtract? Because I don't think you can subtract any more offense from the current roster.
No, I mean, it just gets back to the whole trust thing. I mean, early on in the winter meetings, Dipoto was quoted as saying, I don't want to trade any of my starting pitching. Well, what do you got to offer? Yeah, you mentioned those minor leaguers that are still developing, but I just don't see a trade with Tampa unless it includes one of your three pitchers of Woo, Miller, Logan Gilbert, depending on the package, in my opinion.
I hear you there, but I also look at what it seems like Tampa Bay is trying to do, whether they're trying to get maybe possibly get move Paredes, move Arozarena, Marlowe, all of these guys, and then I look at, hey, you look at their attendance. They aren't making any money down there on their attendance. They're moving into this big place. We're just not there realistically as far as a World Series contender. Maybe you are trying to look 4 years down the road. So when you do move into that big place, there is something exciting to go to. Because right now, even when they're in the playoffs, they're not even selling out, not even close to selling out down there.
Yeah, me and Tampa Bay and attendance means nothing to me. I always just consider them of being very smart on the baseball ops. They know how to cut bait when it's time to. They know how to get rid of certain pitchers at certain times. They're just very good at it, have a good minor league system, and they just re-up and reload. And they'll always be in that mix in the AL East, no matter if the Evil Empire is loading up like they are, if Boston comes back, the up-and-coming Birds, in Baltimore. I mean, they'll be in the mix, so it's hard to say.
So as far as Randy Arozarena, it seems like what else was being said, I don't know if you caught what Ken Rosenthal was saying, basically on foul territory when he was going in on the Mariners. Little Kenny boy, saw him down on the field. He is not a very big man, but he has some strong words for the Mariners. But also he was saying that the Mariners were pretty much in some intense talks with Tampa Bay prior to the Kelenic trade. Possibly money could have been stalling this up. Now it seems like they have some money. Maybe this reopens up. Do you see Randy Arozarena coming to the Mariners? And if so, could you see somebody else coming from the Rays? And if so, who would that be?
I mean, I have no idea other than what's been reported by Rosenthal or anybody. Yeah, Arozarena, he would definitely slide in for the loss of Teo. They both strike out a lot. Arozarena's a couple years younger, makes a lot less money, more athletic, can steal you some bags. But what I like about him most is he is a big time player in big time games, and he'd be a nice acquisition for the Mariners. But as far as their whole saying of, we're wanting to cut down on strikeouts, he's not one of those guys that's going to be like that for you.
Well, to be fair, he struck out about 60 less times than Gino, and he struck out 50 less times than Teo last season, and he only struck out 18 more times than Kelenic did all season. So I think he is a bit of an improvement on that, but not the total flip over that you want to see.
Yeah, I'm not bashing the guy. I'm just saying what kind of player he is.
Yeah, I don't think you're bashing him either, but I just don't think he's a massive. I mean, he's a decent. He strikes out 25% of the time. Let's see. We had a viewer actually chime in here on Randy Arozarena. He was saying that we have Brian Feast saying, "Thanks for the great content." That's not the one I was going for, but thank you, Brian. We have Stack Pack Matt Adventures commented. The only problem with Arozarena is he struck out 25% of the time last year. So would it be weird for them to go after him with their quote off season plan? And that's what kind of you're alluding to. If we're trying to go all the way away from strikeouts completely, then maybe this isn't the right guy.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's what the Mariners have said. And like I mentioned earlier, Dipoto said he doesn't want to trade any of his young pitching in the starting lineup. To get a guy like Arozarena, you're going to have to trade one of those starters. So they say a lot of things, and, things change quickly. That's all I'm saying.
You think it's with Tampa Bay, they want starting pitching and they want right now ready to play pitchers. You don't see them or the Mariners dealing for somebody like I was asking, like a Young, a PD, Ford, Class A.
I mean, I don't know. Jerry seems to really hold on to his prospects. Anything's possible with this team. I was expecting them to spend last year. They didn't. I was expecting them to load up this year, kind of. They talked about the core. This is the time. I don't know what they're going to do. It's something daily with this organization. What's going on?
Okay, so let me re-ask this a different way, I guess. If it's you and you have to get rid of something, to get that hitting that you want right now in this window, are you dealing deeper down into the farm on some of your hot prospects, or are you parting ways with Wu, a Miller, possibly a Logan, possibly a Brash? What are you doing?
I mean, it all depends on the scenario for the package. Let's just say for fun, since we're talking about Arozarena, I don't know what Tampa wants. They've been a little bit I read, they've been talking about getting rid of Glass now. They're, really good quality pitcher. Maybe they'll need someone to slide in for that if they have corresponding moves. I would think they'd want pitching. That's the talk of baseball, is our young starting pitching. I could see Logan going. If that was the case, then if the Mariners were able to then have any extra money in the piggy bank and swoop up Snell, who wants to be here, then that's something that could work out.
Yeah, I mean, Glasnow, let's see, 21 starts last year, 10-7 record, 3.53 ERA, over one whip. Let's see, 120 innings pitched, 162 strikeouts. But the main thing is he's got one more of the heftier contracts over there. He's age 30, right? So,
and first year back from arm surgery.
So this is definitely somebody that, if you are getting a Arozarena, this seems like this would be probably the top candidate of who they also want you to take.
Oh, it would be a massive package for Arozarena and Glass now. I mean, yeah, you would have to start throwing in those guys you mentioned from down in the farm.
Next year, oof. Yeah, he's arbitration. 2023, he was 5 million. This last year, he was 5.3. His salary for 2024 says 25 million.
That's why Tampa wants to cut bait.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying this is somebody I feel like if you're going to get in a Arozarena who's what, like $9 million next year, you're going to see them unload somebody like this. Like, this has got to be the guy. So is this why the Mariners were cleaning like scavenging around for the money because they know that, hey, they got to spend some money to get this guy along with what you're sending.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned if those two were in a deal, and Rosenthal said that the Mariners need to find some money, like you said, and with clearing out the guys that they did, maybe it is a massive trade like this. Who knows?
Arozarena was played had a great calendar year of baseball last year, WBC All-Star. Um, dude's a baller. Dude has swag. I'd love to get him. I wish it was under different circumstances, but I mean, if
Um,
the opportunity's there with the window, if you are maintaining a lot of your pitching, I would have to pull a trigger on this guy. You know, he's been to the series. He's a ALCS, MVP.
yeah, we need offense. What is his contract up?
Well, this is his second year of arbitration in 2024. So he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Obviously, that number is going to go up and up until you get there. But I think you're getting a guy, if you get him a guy right there in his prime, not ascending in. He's like sitting right there in his prime right now. He's 28. He'll be 29 next year. By the time he's an unrestricted free agent, because he got a little bit of a late start coming from Cuba, he's going to be 32 years old.
Yeah, the Mariners want controllable players. So, yeah, he's been rumored. I'd love to have him.
And it seems like that is what's going to happen if anything happens as far as a big trade for player. I would think that's going to be the guy. There's just been enough smoke between Seattle and Tampa Bay, and they just seem like they're the type of dancing and trading partners.
Yeah, they sure had a lot of trades, and some of them have not really worked out for either club that well.
Yeah, it's like they.
From what they were expected to be, at
Oh
least.
yeah, oh yeah, and Tampa Bay has sent out some lemons.
Yeah.
They're like you mentioned earlier, they are very, very good at knowing when to cut bait. So you have to be a bit. I think the best guy we got from Tampa Bay, in a recent whiles, I'm going to say it, Denard Span. You you know that had like a positive effect on the team. No real bumps in the road. I mean, everybody else, it seemed to be up and down. I know Randy Wynn, if we want to go in the way back machine, Randy Wynn for Lou Piniella. Randy Wynn was a nice little solid player, but in between that, it's been a little rocky. And you've seen them also. What was that pitcher that they traded to Pittsburgh? He ended up in Minnesota. Gosh, I forgot his name, but he was a really good starter.
Archer.
Archer kind of fizzled out.
But yeah, I'm not surprised you mentioned Darn Span. I know you run an undercover fan club for him.
Yeah, Denard Span was a nice little left-handed bat, man. Played solid. He hit 300 for the Mariners. He came over, his season was going a little bit, not Denard Span like. I think he hit like 304 the entire time he was on that 2018 team that was just going down. Yeah, the wheels fell off. Everybody knows the story. But yeah, Tampa Bay likes to trade. The Mariners, Jerry loves to trade. And maybe Jerry enjoys trading, but now we're really getting to see why he's got to trade so goddamn much. He's got to go to the flea market. He can't go to Macy's.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Trade turnips.
yeah. I was just hoping this would be the year where we're adding on. Yeah, we start to get you know get rid of these high prospects to get the superstar player to finish off the rebuild. But now we're just taking lateral moves, and that sucks as a Mariner fan.
That is what we're doing. We're taking lateral moves. We're still going to be the second or third best team on paper in our division.
No question.
And if you're going by just on paper, sometimes the Anaheim Angels look better than us on paper.
Yes, they do.
Doesn't always work out in their favor, but which I don't care, which I enjoy. But yes, it's just been very right there in front of you, like what should happen. When you have national people talking about it, or just other friends or people in your life that follow sports or follow baseball that are like, what in the fuck are the Mariners doing?
Everybody that's a Mariner fan or in the Pacific Northwest is feeling that. And the players who, like we mentioned earlier, contacting Scott Service.
Yeah, and I think if we want to find out if anybody else is being traded or sold off, we just got to look on OfferUp, on the app where you can just sell stuff in the house. I'm looking on eBay. Oh yeah, it's all sold, sold, sold. All marks sold here. So this was pretty much our, the Grinch that ruined Mariners Christmas edition of this show. But look, there's still some optimism. Maybe this is my crazy conspiracy theory. Maybe this has all been a play. The cost shaving, keeping the mouth shut, saying no, we're not into the Otani thing, but without saying it, without doing it. You know what Otani's rule was? Loose lips sink ships. Maybe this is their way of being like, look, we got rid of everything. We got rid of everything. We got some money now. He said, don't say nothing. He said you would be punished if you said something, and the Mariners have said nothing.
I don't know what else to say other than please.
Am I drinking the yeah, you want to check what's in my glass tonight? Is that what you're saying? Well, I mean, I'm still gonna have some hope until it's there. We're not gonna. Well, maybe we'll do an episode on it. It gets the clicks. I mean, he is polarizing. He does get the audience in here. So I just want to.
That's the frustrating thing too. You got to spend money to make money, and the Mariners can make a lot of money with him. They do a lot of things kind of weird.